What's up everybody, D-Man back. Welcome to a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing another Godzilla King of the Monsters news and updates. So before we jump into the King of the Monsters news, first of all, chapter time's in the description below. Skip to whichever story you want. I want to give a shout out, a birthday shout out, to none other than our favorite King of the Monsters, Godzilla. That's right, Godzilla's official anniversary was yesterday. The original Godzilla movie came out November 3rd, 1954. You all know the one, it's awesome. I celebrated last night by checking out both the Japanese one and the Burr one once again. It's such a great movie. It's honestly the best. So I wanted to show off some of the birthday tributes for Godzilla. I'm sorry that I couldn't get this video out yesterday. I was busy yesterday. And now that we're here tonight, I'm able to get it out. We got some birthday art from GNA. It's a 1954 drawing. We also have a Godzilla 2019 birthday art from GNA. We have Nasaki Kaiju's 64 years of Godzilla art. This one's really cool. You get all your Godzillas here lined up. Looks really sweet. Even Godzilla himself took to Tokyo to celebrate his birthday. They had an amazing replication of the 1954 suit. Someone was wearing it. I'm not sure who. Someone was wearing it, walking around Tokyo. It's awesome that they bring that back. First of all, that suit looks gorgeous. Second of all, can I have one? I would really like one, because that's amazing. I don't think this one's as heavy as the original. The original was like something like 300 pounds. It was absurd how heavy it was. This one clearly is not that heavy because this guy has some mobility in it. They also filmed some sort of commercial. I think it was Shinji Higuchi filmed the commercial. He was one of the directors of Shin Godzilla, featuring this suit. I'm not sure what's going to come of that. We've seen the behind the scenes footage on Instagram. Sorry, I don't have it in this video, but we have seen it on Instagram. It's pretty cool. I don't know what will come of it, but I'm excited to see what will happen with it. Practical effects, all miniatures in this suit looks amazing. I'm very excited for that because I love Suitmation. I love how it looks. It looks better than most CGI. I don't care what anyone says. It does. But yeah, that's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome to see that Godzilla took to Tokyo to celebrate his own birthday. I'm excited for next year too, for the 65th anniversary of Godzilla. That'll be something special. And I'll definitely do a birthday tribute for Godzilla's 65th anniversary, just like I did with 62 or 63, whichever one I did the special birthday for. I think I did it for both actually. So I'll definitely do another montage next year for the 65th anniversary. Even Legendary Studios took to Twitter to wish Godzilla a happy birthday, which is absolutely awesome. They used that cool gif of Godzilla firing his atomic breath. Can't blame them. It's a cool shot. O'Shea Jackson Jr., who is one of our cast members, he plays Barnes in Godzilla King of the Monsters, also took to Twitter to wish Godzilla happy birthday, saying that Godzilla is one of his childhood heroes. I love that we have people working on the new Godzilla movie that are Godzilla fans. That makes me so happy. I also missed Halloween, so I wanted to show off GNA's awesome Halloween art with Godzilla in it. Godzilla dressed as a witch. Pretty cool. It's great art. But that also extends to happy Halloween, all you Godzilla fans who didn't watch any of my Halloween videos. Happy Halloween, fellas. Lenny Romero posted a pretty awesome Godzilla tribute too for the birthday thing, but it's also just because, you know, he just does Godzilla art regularly. It's a really cool Godzilla 2019 in a city. Lenny Romero's art is absolutely amazing. GNA did another incredible one. This one's like a painting. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. GNA's art is all like paintings that I want on my wall. This one's no different. This awesome picture of Rodan called the Titan of the Sky. Chris Dastic sent me his Godzilla 2019 head sketch. That's really cool as well. He sent me some others, but I won't be able to show them off this video. I'll get to them in the future. And we'll end the art off with another GNA piece. This one is incredible. It's your Showa Ghidorah and your 2019 Ghidorah arriving behind him. I don't know if it's size accurate, the difference between Showa to 2019, but there is a noticeable difference in the scale between the two monsters from 64 to 2018 or 19. This picture is insane. I love it. GNA, you're my favorite. Keep an eye out or an ear out for Brazil Comic-Con coming up in December this year. This one is going to have a Godzilla King of the Monsters panel. Some people are expecting some big reveals there. Maybe a trailer, maybe something like that. You know, initially I was going to say Brazil Comic-Con is not worth it for a trailer because it's not mainstream enough. But that being said, I went back to thinking about Aquaman's coming up in December. it would make sense that you're gonna drop a Godzilla trailer leading up to Aquaman so that you can have something big to air debut in front of Aquaman. They're both Warner Brother movies. I'm thinking we might get a trailer at Brazil Comic-Con, so I'm definitely gonna be on alert when that hits, because I'm not saying expect something big. I'm not saying I expect something big, but there is the potential for something big to happen. It would make sense. It would make sense. Speaking of Godzilla trailers, there is a new Godzilla King of the Monsters trailer that you don't know about. I mean, some of you probably know about it, but most of you don't. It's nothing special, though. It's just a re-edit of the original trailer. It's the Japanese trailer for Godzilla King of the Monsters. It's about a minute shorter than the original trailer, or maybe about 30 seconds shorter. Cuts out all the dialogue for the most part, just basically gets to the monster stuff. It's alright, you know. I like the original trailer better. That being said, though, I did find the Japanese Godzilla King of the Monsters official website. It's pretty interesting. I'm not going to say it's cool because it doesn't really have much on it, but, you know, I linked it down below if you're like, I want to go check out that Japanese Godzilla King of the Monsters website. Now you can. Rubie, I think that's how you say their name. It's a distribution company. They picked up distribution rights for Godzilla 2019. They've had it for Godzilla 2014 and Kong Skull Island. They're the ones that make those goofy costumes that look real silly. But yes, they have the distribution rights for Godzilla once again, meaning we can expect another Godzilla King of the Monsters set of costumes. And I would say some hoodies maybe, because I know they do hoodies as well, so maybe some hoodies. Here's something cool. Japan really likes Godzilla King of the Monsters. I'm not sure what that means. What about Japan likes it? I'm sure they had a test screening in Japan and it went over well. Apparently, the people who have seen it in Japan like the movie. That's good news. I know back in 2014 there was articles that said like Japan thinks Godzilla's too fat, and then you got all your American normies who got butthurt about that because, oh, how dare Japan say Godzilla's fat when they had the thunder thighs of the Heisei era. Yep, we get it. We get it, friends. We get it, legendary defenders. But it's cool to hear that Japan, I hate using that blanket term because that's like, that applies to the whole country. But this doesn't. This applies to whoever saw the movie in Japan, likes King of the Monsters. What people in Japan are actually excited about, generally, is the difference between this movie's release and 2014's release. In 2014, the movie came out in America in May, and then you had to wait a couple months for it to come out in Japan. Here, Godzilla King of the Monsters will have a world release, or at least American and Japanese release, simultaneously on May 31st, 2019. It's like what they did with Avengers Infinity War, meaning technically Japan will get the movie a day before us Americans, because they're like 12 hours ahead of us, something like that. They'll get the movie a little bit before we do. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I've already seen it by then. Hey, anyone want to invite me out to that LA premiere? I'd really like it. Michael Dougherty posted a tweet a few weeks ago called Ghidorah's Second Coming, featuring that picture of Ghidorah's big old foot. I call it Second Coming because he posted a poem along with it. The poem was a segment from a larger poem called Second Coming. So it's Ghidorah's Second Coming. The only reason that's important is because in the comments of that Twitter tweet, Michael Dougherty confirmed that Ghidorah will have the Showa roar. That's really cool. I know he's mentioned this at SDCC, where he said the classic roars for the monsters were the base, and then they adjusted them to fit the new 2019 versions of the characters, but I'm glad we have confirmation that Ghidorah's, at least one of his heads, will have that Showa roar. He also has confirmed that each head, Millie Bobby Brown confirmed this too at SDCC, each head will have their own roar, so hey, wouldn't it be cool if one head had the straight up Showa roar, another head could have the Heisei roar, the Millennium roar, I don't really care, I didn't like either of them, and then the third head could have a revamped new roar. That'd be really sweet. The Heisei roar and the Showa roar don't really mix together very well, so you'd maybe have to tweak it a bit, but I'm glad to hear that Showa roar is coming back, because that's my iconic Ghidorah roar. LA Comic-Con happened about a week ago, and with it, we got some pretty cool stuff. First off, there was a revamped version of the SDCC Godzilla King of the Monsters poster. This one's much brighter with some additional scenery in it. You have a cityscape in the bottom. You also have Godzilla's tail poking out through the smoke. It's really cool. I think this one is actually a little cooler than the Long Live the King poster we got at SDCC. But hey, it's not that much different, so you know, it is what it is. The big reveal that came out of LA Comic-Con was what we talked about in the last news updates, the Godzilla Secrets of the MonsterVerse panel. Thank you to Toho Kingdom for providing us with the original panel. You can check it out, the full thing down below. It's like 40 minutes, something like that. It's really good. It's really interesting. I definitely recommend going and listening to it. They cover a lot of reveals with the MonsterVerse. They mention that Godzilla Awakening is still canon. There's some kinks in there that they have not worked out yet. I'm hoping they will eventually, but that does not make sense. Anyways, basically they run through the history of the MonsterVerse. They confirm Godzuki's appearance in the MonsterVerse. This is a little meme that they did. There is one interesting quote that I wrote down here that I don't understand what it means. I don't remember who said it either, but one of their continuity editors said something along the lines of, he keeps continuity between films, TV shows, comic books, video games, what have you. So right there, that triggers a whole bunch in my brain, because I go, well, the only things we've seen up till now are films. You got Godzilla 2014, Kong Skull Island, and Godzilla 2019. You got Godzilla vs. Kong coming up in the future, though. The other one is comic books. We've seen Godzilla Awakening, Skull Island Birth of Kong, and now Godzilla Aftershock. Video games, we've seen that VR for Kong Skull Island. There was also Godzilla Strike Zone back in 2014. The real interesting one is TV shows. What is he talking about? Godzilla TV shows, MonsterVerse-related TV shows. I don't think that means he's hinting towards anything big. I think that means that the idea of TV shows is on the table. Maybe not even like it's still on the table. Maybe it was just at one point they discussed the potential for it. I don't even know what that would be. Would it just be like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. but Monarch Edition? Who knows? I would not like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. but Monarch Edition, if I'm honest. Interesting quote. I don't think it means too much though. So don't expect a Godzilla MonsterVerse related TV show on the horizon. Just interesting to note that he mentioned it. He also mentioned that at Legendary they created a full ecosystem for Skull Island that extends beyond what we've seen in both the movies and comics, which is really awesome. The attention to detail that they've put into this stuff, the fact that they know the digestive system for each kaiju in the MonsterVerse, it's so cool. I'm glad that these people are so passionate about this stuff that they're putting this much attention into it. They've even talked about like they're big fans of the Toho movies. Of course, World of Godzilla, the upcoming Toho, potential upcoming Toho cinematic universe is brought up. I haven't mentioned it on this channel a whole bunch because it's not confirmed. It's just a rumor, or it's just like on the table discussion. I think that will be changed before the MonsterVerse wraps up, so I'm not getting excited for the World of Godzilla yet, but of course that is brought up and they said they are excited for it and they're excited for Shin Godzilla and whatnot. Yeah, they're Toho fans, they're Godzilla fans, and I love it. The other interesting thing is that Godzilla Aftershock, which is the new Godzilla King of the Monsters prequel comic, will be released as a single trade, which means that every issue will be put into one, and that will be released in spring 2019 leading up to King of the Monsters release, so it'll come out before the movie. Different than what we saw with Kong. Of course, Kong was a sequel prequel, so you couldn't really release it before the movie, otherwise that'd spoil how the movie ends. I understand that decision. The other thing that's interesting is that originally Godzilla Awakening was released as a single trade hardcover, and then Birth of Kong came out, and that was a series of comics. That was each individual issue, 4 issues long, and then it was released as a limited edition trade paperback. Now you're getting a full one-time release of your Godzilla Aftershock, which is going to be one trade. So I find that interesting that they've bounced back and forth between the two formats. Now, if you're wondering what is Godzilla Aftershock, I got a little description here for you, and it goes something like this. The brilliant and driven Monarch operative Dr. Emma Russell, who in the movies is played by Vera Farmiga, races to stop threats as clues emerge to reveal a terrible secret, a tragedy of apocalyptic proportions from a distant past that changed the course of human history. It is returning to threaten it once more. A shadowy figure stalks Emma's every move as she travels the globe and uncovers secrets, while Godzilla clashes in an ancient rivalry as old as the Earth itself. The fate of the world lies in the balance in an epic confrontation that no Godzilla fan will want to miss. Pretty cool. I'll break it down for you. Basically what it's saying is the modern stuff, the 2019 stuff, or maybe it'll most likely be set in 2016 because that's when Emma Russell was most active according to the Monarch timeline. She'll be searching the globe, finding probably Mothra and whatnot. She'll discover some sort of backstory. We'll get a flashback. It'll be like Birth of Kong, where you got a modern story and a flashback story. The flashback story will be what happened with Godzilla before the events of Godzilla Awakening even, or it would technically take place in between Godzilla Awakening and the end of Godzilla Awakening and the beginning of it, because that story's all over the place. The ancient clash is going to be Godzilla versus the Titan we'll talk about in a second. Meanwhile, Emma's doing her daily thing in the modern world, trying to figure out what's going on with it, uncovering the mysteries, and you're going to have your Charles Dance character hunting her down the whole time, watching her. It'll be revealed in the movie that, oh man, I was watching you the whole time, girl. And so, that'll be all good, but us comic readers will be like, yep, we know what he's talking about because we read the comic. Godzilla Aftershock, before we get into the Titan, it has an official poster. Does not feature the Titan on it. It's got this like real old styled artwork. I think that's really cool. I think that's a neat approach for the comic. And then there's also a wallpaper for it, which is just a close-up version of the Aftershock poster. I like Godzilla in front of the red sun because it's kind of the Japanese flag. Real cool. The Titan, though, it's a new Titan that has been confirmed to have some sort of interesting relationship to the Mutos from Godzilla 2014. You know, I think when you're looking at it, you go, yeah, this is a Muto. The fans that I've seen online have dubbed this guy the Apex Muto. That's pretty cool. That's a cool name for it. I like it. It's basically probably the Papa Muto that gave birth to the Mutos from 2014. That'd be my guess. It looks really cool. I do like the design of him quite a bit. It looks just like the Mutos from 2014, although really amped up. So I like it a lot. We also have a little trailer for it that was leaked. I'm not sure how much of the trailer I can play, but I'll play some snippets of it. That's the trailer, snippets of it. It was leaked. Wasn't supposed to make it out of LA Comic-Con, but it did, because of course it did. There you go. That's your first look at Aftershock. The only other thing that came out of the Monarch Secrets of the MonsterVerse Godzilla panel was new images of Monarch's discoveries. These are going to be released on the Monarch website. They've said in the coming months, so pretty soon we're going to start seeing these pop up. They're going to be new locations that appear. A lot of us thought that the new locations were going to be locations of kaiju. I still think that's going to be a thing. I still think once Godzilla King of the Monsters comes out, we'll realize that like whatever the 19 blips are, those do equate to kaiju that do exist in the world. But as far as the Monarch website's going to go, it's not going to reveal that right away, obviously. So the first one we have here is of Ghidorah. It's actually the only one of Ghidorah that they released to my knowledge. It's a Ghidorah storm cloud. Looks real interesting. I like it. I like the idea. Obviously, it's not canonical because Ghidorah is frozen in ice. The other one, we'll go from least to most, is Rodan. Rodan has a picture of him behind a family in a family portrait, so that's fun. He also has pictures of him over the mountains and over a city. Really cool. I love it. I love these pictures, the fire in the sky, very menacing. Rodan looks awesome in the new movie. I can't wait to see him in the new one. I'm so excited for Rodan. Yeah, but these look really cool. The other ones that we have are Mothra, who has one of her over a city in the background. She also has one of her in the distance over a hill, which is very pretty. I like it. Godzilla himself has quite a few. He has one underneath a diver's feet. There's also another one of him swimming in the background behind some divers. There's a third one of him underwater, which is his face. You can see his face. It looks pretty scary here. I like that one. That's my favorite of the bunch that we've seen. I like that one a lot. And then the last one is Godzilla on his way to San Diego Comic-Con this year. Of course, the Godzilla tracker did pick him up when he was headed to LA. We followed that back in like July. I think that's when it was. But yeah, you can see him in the bottom here, swimming his way to LA Comic-Con. Pretty cool. Last thing, I don't know if I said it, but there is the Godzilla Aftershock logo. There you go. You've seen it. Now you know what it is. All right, that's the Godzilla Secrets of the MonsterVerse panel. You're all caught up. If you really just like want to go more in depth with it, which I highly recommend, go check out that full-length video down below of the entire panel. That does it for this one, guys. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. D-Man, out.